Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I want to give a message to Harrison Butker today. If you don't know, famous NFL kicker, professional athlete, Kansas City Chief, and faithful Catholic. Recently, he made a speech at Benedictine College, which has made waves. And I just wanted to give a message here to Harrison Butker to tell him how it made me feel. Harrison, I want to tell you a little backstory. So I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. I remember it was late 90s, early 2000s, whatever the date was. It might have been 98, 99. And I was about 10 years old. And Doug Flutie, Boston College legend, Canadian Football League legend, won a bunch of Grey Cups. He signs with the Buffalo Bills. And at that time, I hadn't picked a favorite professional NFL team. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to pick the Bills because that's where Flutie's going. I thought it was so cool as a Canadian. I'm like, this amazing, historical, legendary Canadian Football League quarterback is going to the NFL, and he's going to make us proud. And he did. A couple years though there in Buffalo, man, oh man, was it awesome what he did. I loved the Canadian Football League. Grew up playing the sport, played through university. I was a O&D lineman in high school, long snapper, linebacker. I played fullback in university. The field's like 110 yards long, 65 yards wide, 20-yard end zones. It's forward motion, 3 downs, a lot of passing, a lot of special teams. I was a long snapper, so I was on the field a lot, and I love the sport, and I just love that Doug Flutie made us proud with the Buffalo Bills. And then things went south with the Bills, but they were already my favorite team, and they sucked for about 20 years. And it was tough. I almost gave up on watching the NFL because it was just so painful for me. I hadn't watched games in years, and then we got Josh Allen. And man, oh man, is that guy an amazing quarterback. And he took the Bills and he raised them up to a Super Bowl contender. And every year, in the last 5 or 6 years, it's like, man, oh man, the Bills are going to do it. The Bills are going to do it. But they keep playing the Kansas City Chief in big playoff games. The games are so close. Not only is it Patrick Mahomes that puts the dagger in, but you, Mr. Butker. You keep kicking these big field goals. Remember October 2022? Remember that field goal? Remember this, Harrison? 62 yards? Come on.
Right into
62 yards.
Butker drills it. Is it long enough? It is!
62-yard field goal at the end of half. Drilling that thing against my boys. Come on, man. And you remember this? Do you remember this? You guys beat us in the playoffs. Kansas City Chiefs win in overtime. After you get that big field goal, get them into overtime. Last year, you kicked a bunch of field goals against us. Divisional round playoff game. It was so hard for me to watch the Kansas City Chiefs win the Super Bowl. I was like, man, oh man, I know Harrison Butker is Catholic. I know he's a trad. He's like 6'4", handsome, that nice red beard thing going on. I mean, what's not to like? But he keeps beating my Bills. You know how long we've waited, and you keep just sending our guys to the offseason. It was really hard for me to be happy for the Chiefs. Really, really hard. But then you went and did this. You gave this speech, and you said this to the men.
Grown in courage to speak more boldly and directly because, as I mentioned earlier, I have leaned into my vocation as a husband and father and as a man. To the gentlemen here today, part of what plagues our society is this lie that has been told to you that men are not necessary in the home or in our communities. As men, we set the tone of the culture, and when that is absent, disorder, dysfunction, and chaos set in. This absence of men in the home is what plays a large role in the violence we see all around the nation. Other countries do not have nearly the same absentee father rates as we find here in the U.S., and a correlation could be made in their drastically lower violence rates as well. Be unapologetic in your masculinity, fighting against the cultural emasculation of men. Do hard things. Never settle for what is easy. You might have a talent that you don't necessarily enjoy, but if it glorifies God, maybe you should lean into that over something that you might think suits you better. I speak from experience as an introvert who now finds myself as an amateur public speaker and an entrepreneur. something I never thought I'd be when I received my industrial engineering degree. The road ahead is bright. Things are changing, society is shifting, and people, young and old, are embracing tradition. Not only has it been my vocation that has helped me and those closest to me, but not surprising to many of you, should be my outspoken embrace of the traditional Latin Mass. I've been very vocal in my love and devotion to the TLM and its necessity for our lives. But what I think gets misunderstood is that people who attend the TLM do so out of pride or preference. I can speak to my own experience, but for most people I have come across within these communities, this simply is not true. I do not attend the TLM because I think I am better than others, or for the smells and bells, or even for the love of Latin. I attend the TLM because I believe, just as the God of the Old Testament was pretty particular in how he wanted to be worshiped, the same holds true for us today. It is through the TLM that I encountered order and began to pursue it in my own life.
So not only do you kick my Bills out of the playoffs many times, but then you come out with this banger calling men to masculinity. I'm all about that. Hence why I wrote the book, Terror of Demons. And you're encouraging men to go to the TLM to become more masculine. Why are you doing this to me, Harrison? I'm supposed to not like you because you keep kicking my Bills out and you come out with this. But there's more, because then not only did you say that to the men, you said this to the women.
Present today, congratulations on an amazing accomplishment. You should be proud of all that you have achieved to this point in your young lives. I want to speak directly to you briefly because I think it is you, the women, who have had the most diabolical lies told to you. How many of you are sitting here now, about to cross this stage, and are thinking about all the promotions and titles you are going to get in your career? Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world. I can tell you that my beautiful wife, Isabel, would be the first to say that her life truly started when she began living her vocation as a wife and as a mother. I'm on this stage today and able to be the man I am because I have a wife who leans into her vocation. I'm beyond blessed with the many talents God has given me, but it cannot be overstated that all of my success is made possible because a girl I met in band class back in middle school would convert to the faith, become my wife, and embrace one of the most important titles of all, homemaker. She's the primary educator to our children. She's the one who ensures I never let football or my business become a distraction from that of a husband and father. She is the person that knows me best at my core, and it is through our marriage that, Lord willing, we will both attain salvation. I say all of this to you because I have seen it firsthand, how much happier someone can be when they disregard the outside noise and move closer and closer to God's will in their life.
Dude, you're killing me. I'm supposed to not like Kansas City Chief guys, and you come out with the most amazing commencement speech in the history of the universe. I don't know if I can root for the Chiefs, but I want to tell you, Harrison, that I forgive you for destroying our Buffalo Bill hopes and dreams all these years. I can't be a Chiefs fan necessarily, but I think I can find it in myself to be happy for all those Super Bowls you've won. Thank you, Harrison, for everything you've done. Go Bills. Chiefs, sometimes.